Right, so once you got the efficient frontier run, there's one analysis once you do that. I've already done most of the work for you, and that is comparing historical value risk to parametric. And again, I really like this. Most financial planners would never show you this because it's just too embarrassing. It's something they should show you, it's something you should ask. So first you have to pick a risk tolerance. If it's an older person, pick a low number. If it's a younger person, pick a higher number. So if the older person, maybe pick 1%. A really old person, maybe 0.5%. Really young person, 4 or 5%. But it just says how much risk can they take. So I've got it here at 1%. If I did 0.5%, you know, everything adjusts for it. This looks like a younger person for me because they've got, you know, if I look at the allocation, they've got about 70% in stocks, so that's obviously a younger person allocation, so I'm going to use a little bit higher risk tolerance. And then all you're going to do is you're really just going to take this chart, maybe clean it up a little bit, but take that chart and you're just going to paste it into your paper and talk about it for a paragraph or two. And essentially all I'm doing here is we look back at our model, and our model says I'm going to be at the exact same risk that you started with, but I'm going to add about 40 basis points of return. Then you go to history, what do you notice? Well, in the past 30 years, your return actually would have been higher with your other portfolio. Your risk would have been higher as well, but your return would have been better. Now, why is that? There's one really good reason. There's two possible reasons, but the most likely reasons, first of all, I'm allocating about 40% to international stocks. And developed market stocks have done horribly the last 30 years. And so we're saying, well, going forward, they're going to do normal. They're going to earn about the same as U.S. stocks. But they've earned almost half as much as U.S. stocks the last 30 years. Why would a financial planner not tell you this? Because it's a really embarrassing thing to talk about. We really forget the last 30 years. Going forward, it's going to be much better. All right, so that's a little tough. Y'all can see why Jack Bogle says don't even buy non-U.S. stocks. He's like, why even waste your time? The other thing you're going to notice is bonds. This one doesn't have too much impact because bonds are 30% in both of them. But if you change your bond allocation, the last 30 years has been a wonderful time for bonds because interest rates have been falling. And so in that case, going forward, we don't expect bonds to make as much. So if they had a higher bond allocation than what you're recommending, they're probably going to do better historically just because the bonds did so well. Those are the kind of things you can talk about. I really want you to just see that financial planners often recommend something that would not have worked well in the past, but they never show you that. In fact, most of them don't even know how to calculate that. So it's an unusual, it's only a couple of paragraphs in your paper, so you don't have to do much. So if you just have to define your risk tolerance, which is going to be related to the person's age. And then you're going to just talk about this page. And everything is set up. You can see how I did all the work, so you don't have anything to worry about. As long as your recommended portfolio is on that green line, everything works. Be real careful in this spreadsheet to never use the Control X function and never delete a row. All right? You can copy, you can paste, just don't Control X. Y'all know Control X and deleting rows, that changes formulas. So you don't want to change any formulas. It messes them up. How do you know you messed up? You'll see the reference function. Right? Bill Gates will give you a reference because he's like, I don't know what to do anymore. You so messed it up. So email it to me and I'll fix it, or just start over from scratch. All right, any questions on historical? I'm hoping y'all remember this class and you'll actually ask your financial planner